Well, good Saturday morning, everyone, and greetings once again from Radio Wasteland Records here in Midland. Let's see, today, November 15th, there's something going on outside here in Michigan, pretty big, and I'm not getting a chance to take part. I'm doing my favorite thing, which is hang out in a record store to do one of my other favorite, instead of doing one of my other favorite things, which is sitting in the woods. But good luck to all the hunters out there. If you're sitting in a blind right now, watching this, why are you doing that? You should be paying attention to what's going on around you. I know it makes it easier now that you've got your phones right out there with you. I know this because you can sit and listen to music and watch. Anyway, we're getting off subject there, but it's a cloudy day here in the mid-Michigan area. Not as cool as it has been, which I guess for some hunters is good, but I like it a little bit colder if I'm sitting outside. Just that's the way I am. But good luck to everybody. I hope you land one. And this is the season here in Michigan. This is like Christmas with guns. I quoted Escanaba in the Moonlight right there in case you didn't quite get it. So lots of stuff going on. I'm going to have to try to get to that and get through it fairly quickly. A lot of stuff to tell you about as we barrel ever towards Record Store Day, Black Friday 2025. Just under 2 weeks from today, 2 weeks from yesterday, actually, and Small Business Saturday, which is 2 weeks from today. Two very big back-to-back events here at the record store. We have a lot of fun with them, but man, there's a lot of stuff going on that we need to get to. So let's say some hellos out there this morning in YouTube Landia and see where you guys, Radio Wastelandians. How's that sound? You guys are out there saying good morning. Let's see how it is going. Jennifer, good morning to you. Lee Page, checking in from Ohio. Thank you so much for being here. You guys got some good hunting down there too, actually. Gary at Doogie's Hats, good morning to you and the crew. Dan, good morning. Got that little buck icon in there. Fred on the west side from Grand Rapids saying good morning. Thanks for being here, sir. Betty from a cloudy Toledo checking in. Fred is saying all the leaves are down and the sky is gray. You know, I've got a maple tree in my backyard that just will not give up the leaves. I'm waiting and waiting so I can finish the yard work, maybe put the mower away, but it's not happening yet. We'll see if we can get to it by Thanksgiving, hopefully. Pat, good morning. Record aficionados. That's a big word, Pat. Thank you for being here. Mike K, good morning. Snow on Sunday and now 60 today. Yeah, Michigan. I get it. We're there. Karen saying happy Saturday and happy Saturday to you as well. And TC from TKR Video Central on the East Coast, not of Michigan, but way out East Coast, the real East Coast, saying good morning. And checking in late on this, Diesel 65 from Austin. Thank you, sir, so much for being here. All right, so as we mentioned, lots of stuff going on. We're getting ever closer to Record Store Day, Black Friday. I think I mentioned last week that the shelves on my distributors, the shelves of stuff they're going to ship is starting to fill up. They have to get to a certain level, and then they'll start shipping stuff out. I expect that to begin happening now early next week. We'll see what goes, but they're going to start shipping that stuff out. We're cutting it close there, guys, but we will start getting that. We'll start taking the stock of what we've got in and inventorying it. If you have some specific questions, maybe late next week, I can answer those. But again, we'll start getting stuff in, and then we'll make our big stream on Wednesday night, 2 days, the day before Thanksgiving, 2 days before Black Friday. We'll do a live stream right here on YouTube and share that over to X and Facebook. And we'll cover everything that we've got in for the store on Black Friday. So that is forthcoming. The fun is yet to begin with regards to that. Just as a programming note, we will open at 8 a.m. on Black Friday, as we typically do. But one change from previous years and Record Store Day events, I will not be here until 6 a.m. instead of 5. I need a little extra hour because I'm getting old, you know. So we're gonna get here to pass out numbers for anyone in line at 6 a.m. So if you're there, you're gonna have to just make it 1 hour longer, and hopefully it won't be too cold out that night. So TC checking in. I did not get cut off from RSD after the podcast with Steve. Nope, not yet to my knowledge. So hopefully if you haven't had a chance to check that out, our podcast with Steve Carlson, two guys talking about records, we tackled a very interesting subject last week that has gone, I dare I say, viral. I don't know if I want to say that, but we've gotten more views than we have in a lot of episodes on this one where we talked about a record store on the West Coast that was banned from participating in Record Store Day Black Friday. The story goes because they criticized Record Store Day a little too much. I don't know. I don't want to get into it, rehash it here. Go back and watch that episode. If you're watching live, check it out when we're done. But if you're watching after the fact, I'll put a little card up there that will get us to that episode. But back to Black Friday. Yes, we are participating. That was a heck of an episode, by the way, too. Steve and I had a great conversation. So make sure you check that out. But Black Friday, everything is on track. I think the fill is looking good as far as what we're getting, but we will know more in the week and a half yet to come. So check that out. Also, for those of you who follow us on Facebook, I just created the event page for our Small Business Saturday, which is here for us at least an equally big deal to Record Store Day Black Friday, if simply because this one really concentrates on the vintage vinyl side of things. So this will happen 2 weeks from today, Small Business Saturday, the 29th. And I tell you what, folks, here's the deal. If you've been following the store online for a while, or the channel, or if you've been a customer of ours for a while, you know that I tend to hold back some vintage vinyl goodies for around the Record Store Day and Record Store Day Black Friday drops. You know, Record Store Day happens on a Saturday. Our drops happen on a Friday. Small Business Saturday is obviously on a Saturday, and Record Store Day Black Friday is obviously on a Friday. I will be putting up a timeline, kind of like a little calendar of events, and I'll put it on our socials and mention it here. But here's just a little preview of that. So we're going to open up at 8 a.m. on Black Friday, Record Store Day Black Friday. We'll have normal business hours throughout the day, but because it's a Friday, I've decided to do a vintage vinyl drop on Friday morning, but not until our normal time of the drop at 11 a.m. So doors will open for the Record Store Day Black Friday stuff at 8. At 11 a.m., we'll do our vintage vinyl drop. The video will go up as normal. I know, if those of you out of town, you may as well just camp out here, because we found out that putting the vintage stuff out during Black Friday, the Record Store Day Black Friday stuff's a little too much for all of us to handle. So we're going to spread that out. The Record Store Day Black Friday at 8 a.m., the vintage drop per our normal hours on Friday at 11 a.m., and there's going to be some good stuff. You know, I've held some stuff back from that. But here's the deal. This year, and I think last year I did it on a Saturday, but this year there's actually going to be 2 vintage vinyl drops, one on Friday at 11 a.m., and then one on Saturday at our normal time at 10 a.m. And as I mentioned, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I like to hold some big stuff back for those vintage vinyl drops. I had already had a lot of good stuff planned and ready to go when in walked this nifty little collection with a lot of other great stuff that pretty much blew my mind, things that we don't see. I'm not going to let it out too much right now, but you guys will not be disappointed, I got to tell you. So make sure you're watching. There's going to be some other little rules like no holds, and I'll put up that full schedule again so you know when these videos are coming out, and you can watch for them, and you can decide how you want to approach 2 vintage vinyl drops in 2 days here at the store, each of them in their own right. It's going to be wild, but it'll be a lot of fun. So Small Business Saturday, 2 weeks from today, we'll open up at our normal time at 10 a.m. rather on that day. There will be a live that morning as well. We'll do this at the same time next week, and then Small Business Saturday, we'll do the live at the same time as well, just to give you guys an update on everything that is going on. So, wow, I think that I've covered a lot of that. So much happening. This is such a fun time of year for us here at the store. We get into it. Oh, and mystery bags. I forgot all about that. Small Business Saturday, we finished up the batch of mystery bags already. Had to, because I'm running out of time. These are the $1 mystery bags. There's going to be goodies in them. I'll cover them next week a little more in depth, but I think we're going to have about 40 mystery bags out this year, and a good portion of them are going to have some sort of goodie inside of them, whether it be a record or a gift certificate or some other stuff. And again, we'll be working with some very great businesses in and around the Midland area to put some cool gift certificates in there for you guys to enjoy. But that'll be a Small Business Saturday thing, not a Black Friday thing. So again, more details to come as we get much closer and closer to everything. All right, so let's cut into this week's vinyl. That's why you guys are watching the live update. Brand new stuff from Cheap Trick. and they've got an album out called All Washed Up. I've got one copy left. This is the standard variant of graphite marble colored vinyl, like a gray colored vinyl. Very cool stuff. Look at the back of this. This is actually kind of cool. It's a record crate of a bunch of Cheap Trick records. Looks like most of their catalog all the way through there. It's a neat record crate in the back. Again, I've only got the one copy. There's an indie exclusive variant on an orange splatter vinyl. I'll double check to see if I can get any more of those if you prefer that, but this one I know is readily available. One copy of this left, I can get more. Another cool one from yesterday. This is called Opry 100, Country's Greatest Songs Recorded Live on the Grand Ole Opry Stage, celebrating 100 years of the Grand Ole Opry. There's some killer stuff on here. Now, there is a copy for quality control that we're going to be opening. Have not had a chance to do that yet. I'll get Kim's take on it because she wanted to listen to one of these. But we've got stuff like El Paso. This is cool. It's called a Full Circle Mix, a Marty Robbins recording of El Paso from 1981, and then it melds, I believe, into a Marty Stewart from 2024, the same song. Patsy Cline from 1962, Johnny Cash from 1968, Loretta Lynn, 1985, Darius Rucker's on here, Dolly Parton with some folks, The Gambler, featuring Don Schlitz with Vince Gill, Devil Went Down to Georgia, Charlie Daniels Band, Elvira from the Oak Ridge Boys, all of some great stuff. Double LP, we've got the blue vinyl version, cobalt blue vinyl. I should be able to get more of those in the variant. New one, compilation from Christopher Cross. This is All Right, Christopher Cross, the worldwide singles 1980 through 1988. Colored vinyl, one pink, one green. And this includes, of course, Sailing, Ride Like the Wind, Arthur's Theme. Lots of other cool stuff on here. It's being billed as the definitive singles collection from Christopher Cross. Double LP. I've got one left of these, but I've got more of them on the way next week. Make sure you stick around for that. Hold on one second here. Talking a little too much this morning. Okay, let's see. Other reissues from yesterday. The Motley Crue Theater of Pain. This, I believe, is a colored vinyl edition, kind of like an orange swirl vinyl. I've got two copies of this left in. I don't know if this is, let's see, it's a 4-time platinum album, which include the hits Smokin' in the Boys' Room and Home Sweet Home, exclusive Purple Crush vinyl. Okay, this next one, I've got two copies of the Lizzie Borden reissue of Appointment with Death. Now, when I was putting together the new release show last week, it said that these were going to be limited to like 300, I think, or so for the country. I got one of each color variant. So this is it. It says limited run vinyl. It's not numbered, but I did read that these were going to be like around 300 or so. So we'll see what happens. There is a metallic gold vinyl version and a red Tears, Bloody Tears vinyl version of Thin Lizzy and Appointment with Death. I've got one of each of those. I think those are already on back order because of the limited numbers. Another big reissue yesterday was the Black Crowes and Amorica. This is an expanded edition, which includes some B-sides on this as well. I think I've got 3 copies of that left if you're a Black Crowes fan. This was scheduled a while ago, but finally showed up. This is Primus and Sailing the Seas of Cheese. This is on something called a cheese wheel variant. I believe it's a split-colored vinyl that looks like, or colored vinyl rather, that looks like a wheel of cheese of sorts. But Primus is on, of course you've got, I can't say half of these on here. It's a cool one from Primus. Psycho Candy from Jesus and Mary Chain, a definitive of sort underground pre-shoegaze album. One copy of this just released and reissued. Limited edition colored vinyl. And then 2 copies of the Tears for Fears reissue. I believe this is on clear vinyl of their songs from the Big Chair. Clear Coke bottle clear vinyl. 2 copies of this. And then 1 copy of the expanded version of Tears for Fears with an alternate cover. This was supposed to be, I think, one of the original unused cover. They didn't go with this because they would like the Tears for Fears guys looking somber on there all the time. This is a double LP on colored vinyl, been remastered with a second LP of rare versions and demos and such on here of songs from the Big Chair. This is the only copy I've got left of this, but I've got more on the way again next week if you really, really need one of those. All right, let's see. Let's check in very quickly. There's some more folks hitting the YouTube comments, and then I need to get moving because we are out of time already today. Let's see here. The new Cheap Trick sounds great, according to Paul. Just sounds like their old days. Very cool in the 70s. And Diesel says that their Cheap Trick pre-order has signed copies of the CD and vinyl arriving today. Good luck. I hope you get those. Very, very cool. Neat to see Cheap Trick out there. I saw them live. Holy cow, that had to be back in the mid-'80s, late 80s. They were playing at a county fair in the Upper Peninsula. It was an interesting show way back then, but still very fun. Okay, I'm going to get rolling. One other final note. I've got a crate of free classical records put out there. And also, we've been working in the Dollar Den. There are probably 300 to 400 new records added to the Dollar Bin and bins, and we're going to add more over the next couple of days. So refreshing that, trying to clean out some of the chaff and put some new stuff in there for those of you that like the cheap vinyl digs. So make sure you stop by and check that out. Otherwise, leave it to you guys for the week. It is, let's see here, Saturday, as of the recording, of course. I'll be here today from now until 6 p.m. Now until 4 p.m. Those are our hours on Saturday. And then Sunday, noon to 4. Don't forget the podcast with Steve Carlson. Sunday evening, don't forget the new release show coming up later on this afternoon. So much stuff, and we'll get to it. We'll have a ton of fun over the next couple of weeks. All right, everyone, enjoy yourselves. Get outside if you're outside enjoying the hunting or just outdoors before it gets too much colder. And we will talk to you all next week from Radio Wasteland. Thanks again for being here.